Hey guys, let's talk about Russia's new space station because this story is interesting. So, they're building something called the Russian Orbital Station, or ROS for short, and on paper it sounds really impressive. It's going to be a cross-shaped station with science labs and living quarters and everything else, but when you look at how they're actually planning on building this thing, that's where it gets really interesting. So, the thing is, they're not building this from scratch. What they're doing is basically taking their old section of the ISS and recycling it. Their plan is to attach brand new modules to the Russian part of the ISS that's already up there, and then once everything's connected, they'll just detach the whole thing and fly it separately. Now, before I get into the concerns, I think it's important to give them credit because they've done something like this before, where they build a space station in space piece by piece and then they break it off. And so technically speaking, they know what they're doing. But the problem in this scenario is that these Russian modules that they want to reuse are ancient. We're talking 20, 25, 30 years old, and their modules have had a lot of problems. There's been air leaks and equipment failures, and they're basically saying that they want to take these old beat up modules and call that a part of their next generation of space station. That's kind of like if you want to build a new house, but instead of starting fresh, you use walls and foundation from your old house that's been leaking and beat up for years. Sure, you save money, but you're bringing all those problems with you. Plus, with their ISS being up there for decades, there's a lot of people that's been there, there's a lot of bacteria and mold, and that stuff is really hard to get rid of. And it's not just about the equipment either. People are wondering if Russia can even afford to do something like this. Because back here on Earth, their own launch facilities are ancient as well. Some of them are 60 years old and falling apart. And so it looks like they don't even have the money to keep things up and running. Meanwhile, the US is building advanced space stations with modern technology. China is always upgrading their systems, but Russia is here holding on to parts from the 1990s. And it also brings up something interesting too, and that is the fact that Russia kept threatening to leave the ISS early, but now we know they can't leave until this new station is ready. So bottom line here is, do they have the experience to pull this off? Of course they do, but are they actually setting themselves up for success by reusing decades old equipment while the rest of the world is starting fresh? That's the real question. If you want to stay updated on how this story plays out, hit that subscribe button because this story is far from over, and only time will tell if Russia's space station actually becomes a reality or if it just stays on the drawing board.